Good morning. How are we all doing? Welcome to twitch.tv /Ice Cream Uploads. My name is Graham Day, and I have less hair. Nice. Yes, this is Bibby, and he's absolutely 100%. I don't know if you can tell, set for golf. He's absolutely ready for it. Yeah. How are we all doing? Welcome in, and the sound of shit itself. Of course it has. Yeah. Fuck's sake. BRB. I'll see you soon. Nice.
Rib.
Could you say it again? He feller in the White House. Could you say it again? He feller in the White House.
Good morning. Okay, how is the audio? Do we sound okay? Because Streamlabs was shitting itself then. The intro video started, and then it stopped, and then the scoop intro started, and then it just started again. Fuck! Do we sound okay? Nice. We sound better. That's what we like to see. Anyway, welcome into twitch.tv /Ice Cream Uploads. My name is Graham Day, and this is Bibby. If you are live on Twitch, then, well, you've probably seen that we've been live for about 2 or 3 minutes now. But if you're on YouTube, then welcome in. If you're on YouTube, you miss out on so much of the fun times. I'm going to say fun times. I mean, oh, shit, let's just make it work times first thing in the morning. Anyway, welcome in. My name is Graham. This is Bibby, and we are Ice Cream Uploads. How are we all doing? There's a lot of people in the chat this morning. Tito says, Graham, you forgot your hat. Nope, it's always here. It's always here. I had a fresh haircut on the weekend, although obviously headphones and haircuts don't necessarily agree with it. But Danielle, once again, has nailed it. So, yeah, I haven't really got a lockdown skill. A lot of people have learned some stuff. Some people have learned languages, learned how to paint, maybe got in shape. I've got into a shape. That shape is circular. Nice. But Danielle has a lockdown skill. She's a barber extraordinaire, so she's nailed a haircut once again. Nice. Anyway, we are joined by the holiday one, the man that we call Bibby.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually not here today, but somehow has rocked up anyway and done all the news prep and everything. GG's, Bib. Nice.
You're welcome. You are welcome.
Good weekend, love.
Yeah, I didn't really do much, to be fair. I'm just trying to think of actually what I did, and it wasn't much. Watched Line of Duty last night. That's the only thing I could think of. Oh, we went shopping. I did the big shop on Saturday. So the fridge is now super stacked with really, really nice food, which always makes me happy. As soon as we open it, there's like chicken, there's like big beef brisket in there, all the good shit from a week off. So yeah, that's about it. What about you?
Pretty much the same. Not a lot, plus shopping and then watching stuff. Oh, actually, I started playing Spider-Man again. I got a couple of hours because I've hit over level 100 on the PUBG season pass. Played a few games of PUBG in the afternoon yesterday, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to play some Spider-Man. So, flew through a shitload of the main storylines on Spider-Man HD remaster PS5 job it. So,
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe by the end of the year we might get into Miles Morales. Who knows? We will see. We will see. Anyway. Good morning, everyone. How are we all doing? How was your weekend? Did you all have a good time? Nice. Yeah. I don't know what I was doing, but yeah. Anyway, welcome in. As mentioned, my name is Graham. This is Bibby. I'm pointing there because he's there, but he's now there because I've got into the split screen. This is Bibby, and we are Ice Cream Uploads, and in true ice creamy fashion, this is The Scoop, the UK's #1 video game podcast, even if we do say so ourselves. Anyway, we are here, as always, to give you our thoughts and our impressions on the biggest, the best, and the breaking stories from the world of video games, and we want your thoughts and impressions on our thoughts and impressions. If you are live with us right now on twitch.tv /Ice Cream Uploads, that's where we go live each and every single weekday at 10 a.m. Ish. 10 a.m. ish. We go live at 10 a.m. ish every weekday. And if you guys are in the chat with us on stream, you can give us your thoughts and impressions, and it's important that you do because we turn this show, this live stream, into a podcast, a video that goes on YouTube and an audio podcast that goes on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Google Play. And West has just dropped a host. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, West. If anyone else wants to drop a host, feel free to do that. We won't argue with you on this bright and sunny Monday morning. If you want to drop a host, fill your boots. Anyway, it's important that you do share those podcasts, those thoughts and opinions. As mentioned, we do turn this into a podcast. Those guys can watch and listen on demand, but they don't get to be here using their voice right now and having us respond to it. So please use your voice on behalf of those guys watching and listening on demand. A little bit of a reminder. Would you like a free game? Would you like Valheim or any other game? Because if you want a free game, then do you know what? We'll give you one. One person that subscribes to this channel will get a free game this week. I believe it's Thursday. Let me check the calendar. Thursday is actually tell a lie. I've got it completely wrong. Thursday is the dawn of a new week. It'll be next Monday. It's the first Monday of the month. Duh, that's what it is. Okay, 1 week today. Got there eventually. Someone will get a free game. As mentioned, we have been talking about it as Valheim just to mix up the message. So we will give one person a copy of Valheim for PC. But if you don't have a PC, or you don't want Valheim, we will sort you out with something else instead. Remember, that is only for subs, and you have to be in the Discord and have your Twitch and Discord accounts linked. So make sure you do that. You've got 1 week left until that giveaway finishes. So good luck, everyone. Nice.
Yeah. And it is only a standard version of those games because I know what you lot are like.
Yeah.
Digital deluxe versions, 90 quid. Not happening. Standard versions.
It mentions something of that ilk on the tweet. It's basically going... The subtext is, stop trying it on, mate. Stop trying it on, mate. God, have we not made the money? God. Anyway, let's run through the chat. Let's see who is here this morning. Lake is in nice and early. Good morning. As is Plum Rico, Gatagad. And then the sound went to shit. Yes, nice. Good morning, Bonsai. Gland Bernard Menez. Is it Menez? How am I saying that? Wow, the sound. Yeah, that's what happens when you use Streamlabs first thing. We have quite a lot running, and I'm only running a 1 PC setup that is pretty powerful, but not top end. So I either need a new RTX 3080, if anyone just wants to drop one in the post, that'd be fine. Or if anyone can actually find one, that would be nice. Or maybe more memory, but it could just be an OBS thing. It does shit itself when I'm running too many things at once. But I tend to run quite a lot when I'm in the morning, so it does happen. Anyway, you sound like you're underwater. I'll take that. It usually sounds worse. There you go. As Vern says, who actually... who was the first person to use the phrase Poundland War League?
Yeah, kind of. I bet it sounds like a Gary thing, that. Do you not think?
It could be.
It stinks of a Gary thing.
I don't want to attribute it to Gary and then someone else being like, oh, fuck's sake, I've been sat here for months and just not even been... Oh, baby, I thought you were looking at the fact that you've got your blue lights on there rather than your purple lights then, babe. I thought, he's got to change it.
I mean, that's all very well and good.
There we go. Smooth. Surprised Bibby wasn't at a golf course at midnight. How do you know he wasn't?
I was still watching the golf at midnight. It didn't finish until like 1 o'clock this morning.
Well, you sound like you, but it is what it is. Fuck you, Tito. Asim says, I want to mention that Bibby's here on his week off. He says, give him a raise for his chair.
So, nice one.
Posture check. Must be time for a yearly 1-to-1 trying to impress the boss. That's what it is. I mean,
that's all it is.
We're still not had last year's yearly 1-to-1. I've not seen him since forever. So yeah.
I'm still employed, so I'm not doing that.
It's only because the government are paying the wages furloughed.
Exactly.
VFM Gamer says, morning, lads. As does West. Morning, Sugar Plums. I'll read. Plum Rico says, morning, gorgeous Westo. Hey, my love. No, forget it. I have a game picked already called My Summer Car. I can't tell if that's an actual game or you're off for a drive. Don't know what you mean. I am at work, but it's a 4-day week, so no complaints. That's true. 4-day week for us as well. On that
4-day week next week as well.
No day week next week. It's okay.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so I'm off next week. So it's a bank holiday Friday as well. Just to mention this first off, there will be no scoop on Friday because it is a bank holiday Friday.
Yeah.
And Monday next week, I think, is the same, right? I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
is.
yeah, nice. So no scoop on Friday, no scoop next Monday. So it's only a 4 scoop week and a 4 scoop week. Just to let you know.
It doesn't mean to say that there won't be any games.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. We might be good to you like that. We'll see. The only way you can find out is by dropping a follow on the channel. It's free, it doesn't cost you a penny, and that way you do get notified whenever we do go live. Gagad says roll on Monday. What, for no scoop?
I was just a massive fan of roll on deodorant.
Roll on Monday. Hey! Gagad's house smells incredible on a Monday. Everyone just the lovely.
Oh shit, he's made a very good point. But we can still do the announcement of the game.
Yeah, I'll. It only takes me like 20 seconds or whatever to load up Streamlabs, press record, and then pick a name out of the hat kind of thing. So yeah. I'll do that. I'll drop it in the Discord like we usually do when we're not on stream, because we did originally draw it in Masters of the League, but yeah, for the last couple of times we've not had Masters of the League, so we've just put it straight into the Discord, which you have to be in anyway to get involved, so you get the notifications. Nice. I was going to ask for Uncharted 2 Among Thieves Fortune Hunter Edition 2009. It's only $1,973. Do you know what? We'll give you the 3. And if you want to put the 197, we'll just get the last 3. We'll call it quits. There you go. Deal. And we will all be off down to the pub. Oh, hang on. Wait a minute. Gagad's on hold. Okay, that's why. It's on hold next week. Anyway, enough. I know we're all here for some news, and it's actually a pretty tasty looking news headline. If you don't follow us on social media, !socials in the chat will give you all of the links, but we do post out a little bit of teaser. I say a little bit of teaser. We'll tell you exactly what the main story of the day will be on social media, on Twitter and Instagram. And I can confirm that today's story is, baby, do you think it's been a little bit too long since you last got into Battlefield?
Maybe.
Would you be happy to jump back into Battlefield?
Maybe.
And would you be happy if you could do that without spending a penny?
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Oh, well, that's interesting, because today's first story of the day, George Foster at The Gamer says, leaked Battlefield survey hints at free-to-play elements. A leaked Battlefield survey is asking about battle passes and a free-to-play mode. So let's jump into the news. The recent Battlefield survey has provided some pretty big hints towards the future of the series, indicating that it might have some free-to-play elements. With Battlefield 6 coming out sometime this year, it appears that EA is starting to push the game forward a bit. A Battlefield survey has been shared by YouTuber Losse, and some of the contents within are a big hint towards the future of the series. The biggest thing to analyse from the survey is the question regarding a free-to-play mode. This is a big hint towards Battlefield having its own equivalent of the massively popular Call of Duty Warzone. Considering that game's success, this should be no surprise. Continuing on with that free-to-play theme, the survey asks about the inclusion of things like battle passes and updates to an existing map. Once again, these features seem to be aping what Warzone is currently doing, which in itself was trying to do what Fortnite popularised. The last Battlefield game, Battlefield 5, missed out on the Battle Pass craze when it launched, meaning EA is probably keen to jump on the bandwagon. The rest of the survey is filled with general questions about Battlefield and some hints towards the Platoons system returning. The big takeaway from this survey is that Battlefield is almost definitely heading the way of Warzone and offering a free-to-play model alongside the yearly release. Even the existence of this market survey can be taken as a good sign of impending Battlefield news. It's likely that the contents of the survey have been decided long ago, so the purpose of it is more to see how consumers are going to react to each element. Whereas Battlefield 6 has been confirmed to return to a modern setting this year, it seems like this year's Call of Duty will be going back to World War II, which means that first-person shooter fans will have a pretty unique choice to make this year. If you're choosing to stick with Warzone, you might want to know that zombies are currently heading towards the bank, and it's probably not to make a deposit. Interesting. Babe, Battlefield 6.
Yes.
Could have free-to-play elements, could have battle passes, could be very similar to the Call of Duty setup now with a paid game and a free-to-play element alongside it. Does that interest you?
It absolutely does. I mean, this game interested me anyway. So if it means that, I mean, to be absolutely clear, if this game was still £60, I would absolutely still buy it. The fact that it may be free to play isn't the only reason it's enticing me to go and play this game. You play Battlefield for the
maybe
massive
It's got 60 quid. He's just showing it off.
Well, it's a PS. We're lucky that it's not going to be 70 quid when this comes out because it's going to be a next gen game. Prices are going to fluctuate anyway. But the fact that this was going to be a free to play game wasn't going to be the only reason this was going to entice me. The campaigns of these games are usually spot on. They're usually phenomenal. They're usually way better than what Call of Duty offer. But the multiplayer is also where my allegiance is. I like the fact that I could sit down for 40 minutes a game and play this. Having the... I mean, we talked about a million times in this with the likes of Conquest and things like that, where it literally is a 40-minute map. You have to take down one area, secure it, go take down the other area, secure it, go take down the other area, secure it. That's what interests me more than anything. So the fact that that element could be free is a massive, massive plus. However, I don't think it's going to be a free-to-play mode. I think that the Battle Pass the more I think about it, the more I think, yes, it could be a free-to-play game, but then you have to pay for the Battle Pass, because I think that's where most games are going to try and recoup their losses, shall we say. So if the game is going to be free, that's £60 that people are going to lose, or you might have to pay £20 just for the campaign, but the multiplayer is free. But then you have to buy the season pass. There may be 6 season passes. They may be £10 each. Then you get your money back that way. However, the Battlefield can absolutely justify a £60-70 game. I've never felt robbed in a Battlefield game, even though that the multiplayer has been lacking over the last couple of years. And the Fire Team, was it the Battle Royale stuff? It wasn't Firestorm. It wasn't a very, very good Battle Royale game. You're not buying Battlefield just for that Battle Royale element because it sucked. But like, I've streamed this plenty of times. I've streamed Battlefield 5 plenty of times on this channel. I've played pretty much every single Battlefield there ever has been. That is my bread and butter when it comes to first-person competitive shooters. The team element, again, the time that it takes, it feels like an open world first-person shooter because the maps are that big. That's what I like about it. And I think that's why I would have preferred to play Squad. I haven't played it yet, but I like the way that game looks. So, yeah. This is talking to me. However, even if it wasn't a free-to-play game, the likelihood is I'm still going to be buying this game anyway. Anything other than that is a massive bonus. Do you know what I mean? And I imagine you're probably the same, and I imagine most of the people in the chat, because I know that a lot of those like first-person shooters as well, or just shooters in general. So I think this is talking to us quite a bit, and I think this is a massive story. If this is the way, because I don't think I've ever known EA to give away a game like this and just hope that the money that they get is coming back through alternative methods within the game. Like, they could do this for FIFA, but they haven't. So why is Battlefield any different?
Do you know what I think it is? Is the fact that FIFA has been, even when it's not great and even when there's issues with it, it's been so successful that it's beyond reproach. It's kind of untouchable. Whereas I would class myself, like a lot of people would say I play Battlefield or I play Warzone. I play both. And I mean that in terms of the amount of time I've sunk into both of them. If I had to put myself into a category in terms of hours played, I would probably be a Call of Duty player. Because I think the heights that Battlefield has had have been higher than the height, maybe on par with the heights that Call of Duty have had, but the lows that Battlefield have been. Oh no! Actually, as I'm saying it, what my initial thoughts were is Battlefield, Bad Company 2, Battlefield 3, that sort of times. I've not had anything in Battlefield that's given me those sort of highs since then. And I was thinking the same sort of thing with Call of Duty, where we had like COD 4, World at War, Modern Warfare 2, and the Black Ops games. And then it kind of went downhill. But I was thinking Battlefield kind of went off the radar for me. But that said, Call of Duty absolutely had Infinite Warfare and Advanced Warfare and robotic space wall running warfare and whatever. So I've probably played more games of Call of Duty, but which ones did I enjoy? enjoy the most? I don't know. I'd have to have a fight to the death between Modern Warfare 1 or 2 and Battlefield Bad Company 2 and Battlefield 3. Those games, exceptional. So I'm a bit of both.
So-
I absolutely love the idea of Battlefield coming back. And when I say that, not that Battlefield 5 was bad. It was a good game. It was just a they let themselves down. Yeah, exactly. The game looked incredible. The game played well in its own ways. Obviously, if you played it over time, you'll start to see some of the issues and stuff with it. But yeah, I love the idea of a modern Battlefield coming back. Not Battlefield 1, not Battlefield 5. Oh, and both of those games didn't resonate with me. Give me boots on the ground nowadays, Battlefield. Yes, please. Yes, please.
I mean, I really enjoyed the Battlefront 2. Like, that is literally just a Battlefield game, just set in the Star Wars universe, and I really, really enjoyed playing that online. When it comes to playing Battlefield, I like to be an engineer. I like to repair stuff. Like, I like to be in the base while everyone else is trying to defend it or go and attack somewhere else. I'm the person that's sat there at the base, putting all the sandbags back up and trying to maintain it. That's how I like to get my points.
Good
Very
guy,
much
Bibby.
like it was. Yeah, that's what it was. Like way back in the day where there'd be a team of us. I'll be the one engineer of the team. They'd try and take down a tank. I'll be dismantling the tank as the tank is driving down the road because that's how I used to get all my points.
And then spin around and fix your tank back up again.
I absolutely love that as my favorite part of the game. It's like in MMOs, I like being a healer. I like to be the people that there'll be a tank going down. I'll be the one casting all spells to keep the player base alive. But yeah, I can't wait for a new Battlefield. I think it's going to look glorious. I think there's a lot of games that I think it will look good in 4K. I don't know whether or not the online element will probably suffer if you're playing that in 4K as well as the game. Like, will you be able to? Will frames win games? That's why a lot of people play multiplayer games on like low and medium on PC because they'll be able to get more frames than if it was playing on ultra and high. I don't know whether or not it's the same for console. I can't imagine it being. It'll just be how fast your monitor can process that speed of the refresh rate. So I can't wait to see what this game looks like. I am all in day one for a new Battlefield game. It's been a while since I've heavily invested into the online element of a game. I do really want to play a campaign as well because I think this one, fresh out the gate, may not have the longest campaign that there will be in a war game, but they have been working on it for a while, so it's kind of cards to the chest time. I'm not really sure what we're going to expect from it, but I mean, I'm all in for a new Battlefield game.
I can't wait for the idea of like urban assault sort of vehicles, red dot sights, jets flying overhead, like just the audio that comes with all of that stuff. Obviously not from a red dot sight, unless you get the sort of like Call of Duty-esque noise kind of thing. But all of the audio that comes with that. If anyone's played Battlefront 2, the Star Wars game, obviously made by EA, same sort of teams, same sort of mechanics within the game, the audio in that is incredible. And Call of Duty won awards for the audio in that being exceptional this year, or last year. And I played it and I thought it was all right. It was all right. I would never say that in a recent Call of Duty game. It's blown me away like one of EA's FPSs has. Put me in a Battlefield, put me in a Battlefront, and the audio is just so much more immersive. And I don't know whether that's because there's a lot more directional play, and by that I mean usually you have a PTO, play the objective. You have a target, you have an objective that you're kind of working towards. Obviously, you have that in Call of Duty, but Call of Duty, I don't know what it is. It's like, okay, team deathmatch. Yeah, nice. Okay, go, and everyone just runs off in different directions, and it's like, oh, okay. Whereas in Battlefield, everything's kind of focused, and everyone pushes towards it, and I don't know whether that gives them a lot more ability to build up to the hype moments, the big audio moments. So just having all of that, but it not being a dude on a horse, and it not being like a Spitfire or a Messerschmitt kind of plane flying around, but it's an actual like F-16 fighter jet-ish kind of thing. Yes, please. I want to get back into that. So, yes.
You're rewarded for team play, and that's the most important thing when it comes to games like this, and that's why I enjoy it so much. Corridor shooters just don't do it for me.
Nope. I mean, they do. They do for me in terms of I enjoy playing Call of Duty Team Deathmatch. I enjoy playing Call of Duty Warzone. But as I say all the time, for me, it's a change of pace. A lot of people, that is their pace. A shitload of people, that is their pace. For me, that I want a change of pace. I want the strategy. I want the team play. I want to push and move. I kind of want to do bait and switch attacks and stuff like that, rather than just jump over the top, UMP, hip fire in the face, and then clink, 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 smash, armor's gone and down. I want the strategy around it, and you always have that much more in a Battlefield than a COD. I still enjoy COD though.
Yeah, that makes me sound like I hate COD, but you're rewarded in Call of Duty for just you respawn so much faster, so you could die 2 seconds later, you're back into the game again. Like, you're rewarded for running around aimlessly. Is my take? It's very small maps, running through corridors. Who can pull the trigger the fastest? There's no. I mean, this is going to insult most of the people who actually play it as an esport, but for that, I mean, there's two different ways. There's the casual and then there's the hardcore. If you watch any Call of Duty esports event, there's a lot more tactics to it. But in general, when I join a team deathmatch, it's literally just run around the corner. Who can pull the trigger the fastest? Like, there's no
even those
IQ players or anything like that.
Even those tactics. So if we had say like a two ends of the spectrum. At one end, you've got Hollywood, and the other end, you've got National Geographic or the History Channel. You've got Squad is the History Channel, and National Geographic, true to life, big reality sort of stuff. One shot down, and you have to plan your movements carefully. And the other end, you've got Hollywood, and that is Call of Duty. There's nothing wrong with it. It's the hype moments, but people get like the Congressional Medal of Honor or something because they've gone and done something stupid or something incredible or heroic, and it's so OP or over the top that it needs recognition, whereas that's just another moment in Call of Duty. So it's probably not the fairest example in the scale, but Battlefield probably sits kind of middle, maybe towards one end a bit more than the other, but it gives you a bit more of that History Channel with a bit of Hollywood in it as well, which is kind of why I think it resonates a little bit more with me. So that having free-to-play elements, get a bit more Hollywood with a little bit more longer tail build-up, then that's good for me. Less run and gun, more thought-through gun. That's kind of where I want it. And yeah, more players, free-to-play. But nice to see it. But I'm interested to see how they actually do that split, though. Because we mentioned things like Conquest and things like that. They are arguably where the bigger experiences are. Will those be free to play? Because obviously, multiplayer in Call of Duty isn't free to play, and Conquest is multiplayer. Obviously, only Battle Royale is free to play. Will they do the same thing? Do we think that they will give things like Conquest? Because it's kind of hard. I mean, Call of Duty did really well. One thing that they did exceptionally well is they took very pocketed gunfights, because that's what Call of Duty is. You get choke points and you have little pockets of action in a whatever size map. You always have places where people died, and they somehow managed to stick that into Verdansk, this huge map that encouraged these little pockets of action while still feeling like Call of Duty. Do EA do that? Do they try get the Battlefield feeling and put that into a BR for free, or do they give you Conquest because that is the Battlefield feeling? But if they give you Conquest, does that sell as well as the concept of 100-man fight to the death kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, that's. I mean, again, it did sound like I was like shitting on Call of Duty, but put it this way: I would much rather watch high-profile people play that game and get the best out of it than me playing with somebody else who is just it's a free-for-all, it's a shit show. I mean, who is it? Just see then. West said, I played a lot of Call of Duty recently, and the thing that annoys me the most is an objective-based game. The player who ignores the objective for camp kills will end up at the top of the table compared to the person who's worked the objective. That makes no sense.
Correct.
But it's absolutely correct. But whereas in Battlefield, it's the other way around. If someone's trying to actively take down the objective and also defending their base, that's where the points are based. That's why I like that more, because it absolutely encourages your team play. It encourages you trying to communicate with your squad, like your 4-player squad, as well as the bigger team. It encourages everyone to think tactically about how they approach it, not someone who's grinded down the best gun, who then just sits hiding away somewhere. Anyone who comes remotely close to them blows them away. They end up at the top of the table. They've not even played the objective. that's where my Call of Duty ambitions of playing it not full time, you know what I mean. Well, me wanting to put that game in and play that game, that's where it falls down. That's why I'd always turn to Battlefield other than Call of Duty. And I do enjoy Call of Duty to a certain degree, but when it comes down to both of them, it's kind of night and day in my head as to what I enjoy more out of a video game.
Interesting, like thought processes. Let's say like Call of Duty squash down Call of Duty into the pockets of fight and put it into a BR. Can Battlefield even do that? So the bigger fights, the strategy plays, and so on, does that work in Battle Royale as much as Call of Duty? Because Call of Duty's pocket fighting stuff. Quick fights, run, rush, kill, dead. Next team. Quick fight, run, rush, kill, dead. If that's essentially how PUBG is played. If you play it at a competitive level, I don't like playing full-on competitive. I don't play ranked because it's literally just land, get loot, kill people, take their loot, run at people and kill people, run at people and kill people. And the aggression plays a large part in that. And that's what Call of Duty is. Be aggressive, very aggressive. Battlefield, you still have to be aggressive, but it's the smarter play more often than not. Does that even work in a Battle Royale? Maybe they can bring something, but it's kind of harder because if you start to slow down things like Battle Royale, that's when people just go, okay, I've been out thought, so I'm just going to sit on a staircase with my ADS down the stairs and wait. So, yeah, be interesting to see what they actually come up with. Anyway, the gist of it, all we know right now is that none of this is confirmed. That's all we know. So what we know is nothing, but what we do know is that they are asking questions around it, and those surveys that are conducted by devs, by publishers, have meaning. It might not be the meaning that's there. So them asking questions, like one of the things in the article says, it could just be a case of this is very far on, and they want to gauge how the reaction is going to be, which is backwards. That is absolutely backwards if it is that way. You don't go, oh, let's stick all this into a game, let's develop it, let's make it, and let's ask people what they think just before we give it to them. It's like me going, Bibby, I've got you a cake. And you're like, oh, nice, yeah. And I'm like, okay, what kind of cake would you absolutely love? And you go, chocolate cake. If it was anything with lemon in, I would hate it because I am fully allergic, and I open the box and there's just a lemon cake sat in there. You'd be like, why did you even ask me? Why did you ask me? And that's, so if they've done the survey with that in mind, I don't like the idea. But even if they have, the thought process kind of still is the same. They want to get a steer now of how they change going forward, where they take that. Because if they launch and they already know that they're launching with something shit, they can then start tailoring their message to say, okay, don't worry, because 6 months down the line, the first patch will already have this. Shit, someone start developing that now, quick, get in way, because the game's good. But even still, the questions are there for reasons. They don't ask you about free-to-play and then completely do nothing with it. It's definitely something that EA will be looking at. Especially with, this article gave a lot of nods towards Warzone and then kind of nodded a little bit towards Fortnite within that. Warzone having one map that changes and evolves over time, having battle passes being free to play. Which game did that first? Was that Fortnite or was that Warzone? It was Fortnite. Warzone have just taken that and run with it. So, yeah, it's not necessarily like Warzone have done this fresh and they've done something new. They've taken something and evolved it. It'd be nice to see EA doing that themselves with Battlefield, because we all deserve a Battlefield game. And EA have made so many slip-ups when it comes to in-game purchases and things like that, that hopefully they've made enough that they don't fuck this one up. But you know what? We will see. We will see. Anyway, let's jump back through the chat, see what you guys say, because there's been a lot of comments from you guys this morning. Battlefield 4, one of the best games ever, says West. Good game.
Agreed.
I had the deluxe version of the last Battlefield, but that came with my Battlefield 1X console, and it came with the other Battlefield games too, which was great, as I got to retry them and also play Battlefield 1, which I was on PlayStation. Still, me and my pals played Battlefield 1 for hours. I played a decent chunk of Battlefield 1, but it lost me because it's back in the day, historical war. I've mentioned a couple of times in this stream already. Give me modern day shootouts, and I'm happy. I don't want futuristic, and I don't want the past. I just want now. So I will play it. I'll appreciate it, but it just doesn't hold my attention. I don't understand why EA won't do Konami and release FIFA Lite. It would have versus and fought in it. Well, never say never. If EA are looking at free to play for Battlefields, then I wouldn't be surprised. Free to play 10 years ago was a horrendous marketing decision. That's you giving up on your game 10 years ago. Free to play now is it's the future. It genuinely is the future. Brands that are moving towards free to play are realizing that quick land grab of taking 60, 70 quid off people to get them into the game isn't necessarily the best way of building for the future.
Yeah.
Some people will be happier only spending 40 quid on in-game purchases over the course of the year. Some people will spend 120 quid. You can break even, or as Call of Duty found, you can make a shitload more money in the first few months than you would do in the full year. So it's
only if the content's there, though,
Yeah,
because the
for
reason
sure.
they get the money back is through the battle pass in it, and the battle passes in games are usually good. I like you was grinding down Fortnite until the very last second to be able to get what you needed out of it. Like, if the content's good enough, if the content's good enough inside it, then you're more than happy to spend £10 every 2 months or 45 days, whatever the duration of a battle pass is. I'm more than happy to do that. I am very surprised that FIFA haven't done this, or any other sports game has done this previously, especially the likes of Madden and FIFA that sell millions and millions of copies every single year. I am surprised that they haven't give this free to play. However, why do they need to if people are still buying it?
Yeah.
It's not as if people aren't. They're just losing out £60 and then the microtransactions on top of that. So again, when I started talking, it makes perfect sense why they haven't given it away.
I mean,
but
it does and it doesn't. I mean, it does make perfect sense, but it also made perfect sense for Blockbuster. Why would we put games online when people could just come into our stores and pick them up? we lead the market. Everyone's got a Blockbuster card. Oh fuck! So they will change. They definitely will change. But like Baby says, the trade-off isn't just making it free to play and carry on. It's making it free to play and making the content fit into that. If the content is there, I mean, sports games. The difficulty with sports games is there is no calendar for war. War is war, which is not a reference for wrestling, by the way. That was a Raw is War, different thing. Anyway, war is war. It's in the past, it's in the future. It's now. It can be real or it can be fake. We can do what we want and we are fine. Whereas Call of Duty gets the freedom of that. Something like a PES and a FIFA is replicating a real world calendar, real world schedules, real world tournaments, real world player rosters and stuff like that. And it is much more difficult. But and I say it like it's easy, it's absolutely the hardest thing in the world. All it needs is that one brainwave that someone goes, okay, well, we can just connect the two dots like this. And everyone goes, oh, fuck it. Okay, well, everyone does that. Battle Passes was one of those brainwaves. Why are we just charging people 50 quid for a DLC season pass for the full year of the console when we can just charge them 6 quid for a Battle Pass and have 12 of them, which gives us more money? Okay, let's do that. And it just needs the simplicity digging out. It's sometimes it's so simplistic that it's unseen. But yes, FIFA. I would put my hat on it, saying that it might be a couple of years, it might be 20 years. FIFA will be free to play at some point. Most games like that will be free to play at some point. I would be hugely surprised if I didn't go that way. It won't be the first time that Battlefield was free to play. Battlefield Heroes has been free since 2012-ish. Granted that it's more Fortnite-like than the normal Battlefield games.
Battlefield Heroes?
I don't know that one. Plum Rico says Warzone is in desperate need for a new map to freshen it up, or it will lose players to the likes of Battlefield. No, I agree. I don't like change. Too much change. I love the idea of Verdansk still being Verdansk. I love the idea of Fortnite still being Fortnite in that sense. I want change and I want it to be fresh, but I want it to be the same. And it's the difficulty is, I think the issue with Warzone is Verdansk has been so successful and synonymous with Warzone now. Getting rid of that will be it will rip up the script. Imagine a game like PUBG. If you play PUBG, nice, you'll understand this. If you don't, then just pretend like you do because it makes me feel good. Nice. Imagine PUBG getting rid of. Nice, thanks, babe. Let's practice this. Imagine PUBG getting rid of Erangel, the BR map. I know a lot of people probably don't think that now. They've moved on, but arguably the best, most thought through map in Battle Royale. And the reason that is because it was not just developers that made it. It was designed with community feedback. It's effectively everything that PlayerUnknown learned from community mods went into Erangel. Wonderful. So getting rid of that would be like, what the fuck? I mean, I just want to play that, nothing else. So, but sometimes if that's all you've got, you need to mix it up. So just stick it in a vault, bring it back, have special editions. I mean, one thing Call of Duty can do is recycle a map. So how many times have we played Nuketown? Yeah. So yeah, no, it does need to freshen it up. And if something like Battlefield does come out, that's when it scares people into making changes. So that I think Battlefield will be good for not only Battlefield players but for COD players as well. All of the comments. There's so many. Battlefield's better than COD any day, except two first COD games as offline campaigns. Call of Duty's first offline campaigns. See, I 4 was my peak, but then again, a lot of people like the older battles and the same thing. It's because they don't need to, as they know FIFA will sell a shitload regardless, says Gary. Exactly. Okay, fast forwarding. Bonsai says, still enjoy playing the last 2 Battlefield games now and enjoy it more over COD / Warzone. But the last 2 COD games have been good, and when I've played them, they were okay. But I'm not a big fan of Warzone. But the campaigns on the last couple of COD games have been good, including the World War II COD, and better than the jetpacks and nonsense the previous COD games. I agree. Boots on the ground. Okay, I'm gonna start skipping comments. If I miss something important, just say it again. But I'm just gonna try catch up because we have a lot of conversation. Okay, Steel Bonza says I remember borrowing it off my pal. Oh, no, actually, West says I played a lot. I know you've done that one. Okay, Battlefield is so cool when there is bullets flying around you and teammates go down and you have to try and get them to revive them. It's awesome. That's why, for me, Battlefield wins the action and destruction in-game is awesome. Levolution, I mean, I didn't quite enjoy full Levolution where you could see like full skyscrapers and stuff being taken down, but Battlefield Bad Company 2, where you know that if you take out every wall or enough walls inside a building, you can bring down a building with someone inside it. That was just fucking heaven. Having some like camper sniper just sat up at the top of a clock tower, looking down his scope and picking off your team, and you manage to sneak around the edge and just get up there with like all your C4s and blow out the bottom of his building. Sucker! Yeah. Oh, incredible. Not sure what it's like in Battlefield, but I feel the kill counter focus on COD probably isn't helped by the rewards for getting a certain number of kills. Yes, I think that's kind of the way that COD plays. There was, as the way that West kind of put it, that, like the objectives, there was only really one objective: kill and kill more. Get 3 kills, get your UAV. Get 5 kills, get your airstrike. Get 7 kills, get your helicopter. And then obviously, then after that, added in the fact that you can customize your kill streaks and so on. Kill streaks and the like within COD was always pushing to that level. Dropping that sort of mentality into a battle royale where there is only one goal. Battle royale doesn't matter if you've got a contract. Doesn't matter if you've got a kill streak. Just get to be the last one alive. That's the only one. And I think that's when you get the conflict of interest in there. Conflict of interest is the aim of Battle Royale is just you versus me. It's willy waving. It's comparing lengths. It's okay, mine's longer. I stayed alive longer. I win. But muddying the waters with the other missions, that's when it starts to get complex. Anyway, the reason Konami did it with PES because sales were bad. The difference with EA is that they don't need to do this until the sales drop.
Which you never will.
I mean, even I don't know if it is the sales were bad. It could be. I would say even if the sales weren't bad, it could be a case of if FIFA is first place, if FIFA is PlayStation, Xbox have completely ripped up the script this year because they're in second place and they want to be first. So you do the more drastic things if you're in second place, even if it's not bad. Sometimes it could just potentially be better. And yeah. that's why did you hum the hello hello theme when going about Granny 4? Do you know what? I actually, when I did the it was supposed to be the Mandalorian, but then as I did it I stopped because I just yeah. There would be an uprising if PUBG closed down Erangel. I would literally I would run to Amsterdam, just windmilling, and with my fists out as well. So there you go.
Just about to say.
I was wrong about Battlefield Heroes. It was taken offline, but it lasted from 2009 to 2015 as free to play. That's the thing, though. Maybe it was too soon. Free to play 2009 2015 was a sign that your game was dead. Not that it was good content. Attitudes have changed now, just like TV attitudes have as well. Biggest selling sports games are Madden, FIFA, and NBA 2K. Notice a similarity. None offer a light version and are the best sellers. Tito says, coming from COD, my mind was blown when I was trying to snipe a guard tower, badly. For about 2 minutes, some guy launched an RPG round and blew up the whole tower.
So you just kind of look at you're gonna go, okay, yeah, this is a sniper rifle. Is it gonna do anything?
Is it Warzone when you can be playing and then all of a sudden you can have a bounty on your head? Yes.
Yeah, it sucks so bad. That's what put me off the Fortnite season last time. It sucks so bad. I don't like it.
Wes Bonsai says, I believe it is, and it happened to me once, and in that moment I hid in a room and just cried in the hope that no one would find me. It's infuriating though, because when you're just starting out and you're thinking, oh, nice, I've just got some decent weapons. I'm not just running around with a pistol. I've found what could potentially be a decent loadout. I've got full shield plates plus a couple extra as well because I feel like I just killed someone. Fuck it, I feel good now. And then suddenly all of a sudden it's like it's like, okay, you have to keep Bibby alive, and it's like, fuck's sake. Fuck. And then that's it. Just you see the threat just rising as people come closer and closer. That's too much pressure.
I understand that it changes the game up a little bit. So, like, you'll be on the offense and then you have to be on the defense, which is, thinking about it, is quite a good mechanic. But it's so infuriating because just everyone knows where you are, and it's just wave after wave of people. It doesn't, your skill gets kind of taken out of the window then, because you just, everything that you was doing, put on hold, get into a room and try and defend it. Like, it's infuriating. It put me off it big time.
See, I can't remember which streamer it was, but when they said it, it kind of like just stuck in my mind, and I've mentioned it a few times since. So 2-3 years ago, you was playing a battle royale, and the aim was to win, and that was it. That was the aim. And battle royale was pure when you were all playing the same game. But you can be in a map in the same gunfight as someone else, and they might be playing a different game to you now. And that's because things like the battle passes and season passes come with additional missions now and side missions, which are good for people that aren't just playing to win. One of the things I enjoy most about Fortnite is the fact that I'm not just trying to grind the win. I can go in and it could be get 10 shotgun kills or whatever. But that changes the game from what it used to be. That person isn't necessarily trying to beat me and win. They would like to do that, but they are trying to get 10 shotgun kills. They are trying to drive 1,000 meters in a vehicle. They are doing whatever side mission things, or it could be a case of they know that they want to go left towards the center circle and lock down a building, but my bounty target is right, so I need to go right, and that changes the game. And it's there's mini games and stuff within it which are good content for people that really believe in the idea of the experience. But if you're just there for the pure battle royale element, then it's not the same sort of game then. So it's like, okay, I want to play a game, I want to get looted, and I want to play tactically, but now my tactics have to change on the fly because I'm being hunted. And if I sit still too long, they're going to find me. If I keep moving, then they're not going to find me, but I'm not building my plan because I'm just fecking legging it or driving around to get away from them. So it changes the game. Gray never plays Erangel anyway, so not sure what he's complaining about. Played 5 or 6 games last night. Guess which map I didn't get? Nailed it. 2 Vikendi. No, 2 Karakin, 2 Sanok, a Vikendi, and a Miramar. So absolutely horrendous spread. Anyway, especially as I wasn't very skilled with COD. I think the last time I actually played some Warzone was with Plumrico and Pew, and I did get 10 kills, I believe, in one of the games. And with people, it was good fun. But another thing I didn't like was the Gulag. Oh, I love the Gulag. I don't like the Gulag now. The idea that you'd throw into the Gulag with a pistol, and you just that's it. Whereas now, it's like full weapon arsenal kind of thing. You might get drawn with an AR, you might get drawn with an SMG. It's pushing it to the next level. The Gulag was pure and simple. It was battle royale in a microcosm. It was you win and that's it. You succeed. That's battle royale. That's what the Gulag was. Whereas now is it's you win, but you've got a bigger gun than before. And anyway, whew. Enough of the talk about free to play.
That's like nearly an hour.
Yeah. It's good talk. We clearly want to play some Battlefield. Do you know what? When it comes out, me and Big might stream it for you. We'll see. We definitely will. Anyway, that's enough talk about battle passes and things like that. And do you know what? The conversation spread into football, and that's not where I really want to go. So let's jump into our next article, which is about football. As Wes Yin-Poole at Eurogamer says, THQ
Football,
soccer all around the world. The funny thing is like I like
for the A-worm.
I tweeted that a few weeks back. I see you tweeted that when we were playing on Friday. And it's always tweeted with a bit of fondness, but I remember fucking hating that song at the time. I remember on all the forums, it was like, what is football, soccer, football, soccer, football, soccer, all around it. It was just like, what is this? And now it's just one of those things that just lives on forever. If you've played PES back in the day, then you'll know. And if you don't know, then you're missing out / well done. Anyway, Wesley and Poole at Eurogamer says THQ Nordic takes on Football Manager with We Are Football. Long ball. So the article says THQ Nordic is taking on the long-running Football Manager series with a football management sim of its own. It describes as, quote, a throwback to classic traditional management games. We Are Football is from German studio Winning Streak Games. It was co-founded by Gerald Kohler, the creator of On the Ball Football Manager series, which was a big hit in Germany in the early 90s. The debut We Are Football trailer is below, which I haven't seen, and I will hit play while I carry on reading. It's only 35 seconds, so strap yourself in, grab yourself a brew. We're going to be here for a long haul. THQ Nordic stressed that We Are Football is easy to grasp. Quote, We Are Football offers you full control of every aspect of your club, but remains as simple as a hoofed long ball, reads the official blurb. Quote, in We Are Football, you won't spend entire evenings understanding how everything works. It's possible to polish off an entire season in little more than it takes to finish off a real game of professional football. Just 2 hours. Management options let you control a club's finance, sponsors, HR, fan support, organisation, club members, fan funds, and even play the stock market. The match engine focuses on the ball and players who participate in offensive manoeuvres. We're also promised spectacular halftime speeches. Well-known women's and men's teams are available, although THQ Nordic did not say which official licenses it's snagged. Based on the screenshots, expect to see random player names and custom team crests. There's an extensive editor, though, so perhaps a few months after release, an option file will be available that adds that authentic feel. I doubt Sports Interactive will be quaking in its boots over We Are Football, but it's nice to see another player enter the genre. We Are Football is due out on PC on the 10th of June, 2021. We Are Football. Thoughts, babe?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I am kind of thrilled that we're going to be getting another Football Manager game in the sort of in the market, and I don't mean Football Manager as in Football Manager, but just another management football game. I hope that we do get some option files for this, because I don't know if you've zoomed in on any of the team sheets. But it looks like it's just completely random names that no one's ever heard of before. I'm interested to see whether or not this will be a yearly franchise. So the problem is with games like this is if it is a yearly franchise, it will, as soon as the option file gets built once, it'll just be a case of just fine tuning it as you go along. If it's not, then it'll just be a pain. Well, someone will start again, Graham. Start again.
What we're trying to say, babe?
Yeah, I have played a lot of manager games in my time, and I hope that I hope this one doesn't die on launch again. It said that you can complete a season within 90 minutes, but everything that you mentioned that you can do, including the club's finances, sponsors, HR, fan support, organisation, club members, fan funds, and even play the stock market, that doesn't strike me as a game that I can do a season in 90 minutes. No. It seems like a lot. But again, it's just another piece of the pie in the competition. have you seen the badges and you've seen the player names? This isn't going to be a licensed game by any stretch of the imagination. There is a game called Lords of Football that I have recently started playing on and off again, which is a football game but mixed with The Sims. So your players can go off and do whatever they want, but people have made option files for those. So I can play as a Manchester City team from 2014 because that was the last time that it got updated. I imagine this is kind of the same thing again. The trailer looks good for 35 seconds. It shows that you can have a look around the city and stuff like that, and hopefully build your stadiums. Hopefully it'll have that. It looks like it has elements of LMA in there as well. I don't know how well this is going to do without it being a licensed game. That's my biggest issue. Without having real players in there, what's the incentive for people to go in and be able to play this game? Because no one wants to manage Newcastle with a team that's no one's ever heard of before. The whole point of playing like a football manager game is to get your football knowledge is in your brain if you are a football fan, to know what players will suit your play style and what formations you want to use.
Yeah,
Very similar to us when we play My Club and stuff like that. We know the players that we want to fit in certain positions who will give us exactly what we want. I've never heard of any of these players because they're all random. So what's the difference between them? What elements have they got that I think I can build a team around?
It's nice when you've got a little bit. Like I remember playing with, I want to say Sensible Soccer. I can't remember which one it was. And there was a team called Duds Spuds, and then there was another team called Dance Craze. Maybe it was pre-Sensible Soccer. I can't remember what it was. Football game. Oh no, what was it? I don't know. Let's just say Sensible Soccer. And there was a team called Dance Craze, and all of your player names had names like Fandango and Breakdance or whatever, and Dud Spuds, I can't remember what their name. So that was just something where you just basically played little matches or little cups. It didn't really have anything to it, whereas this is something that evolves over time. Not having Roberto Larcos and Ruud von Mistelraum or whatever, you kind of... You're not infringing any copyrights, but you're letting people use that pre-learned experience, and that's what people kind of want. So taking that away, yeah, I'm not sure. It's nice to see something coming into the market, but it's not really going to change much, I don't think. Also, the fact that the manager, it says attack Newcastle. I mean, there's no attack, comma Newcastle. Is it telling Newcastle to attack? I don't know. It just seems very aggressive. Yeah. Attack Newcastle. Nah, I don't know. But anyway, not long to know before we can see whether it actually lasts, whether we do get a yearly update, whether they change. I mean, obviously a lot of games have started out one way and then evolved over time. So maybe the next iteration does have the likes of Paul Fidden from Blue City of Manchester or whatever in the midfield. Number 47, Paul Fidden. Yes, nice. And he plays it out up front to...
face Shagger.
Exactly. So we'll see. Let's move forward though quickly. We need to get things wrapped up. I probably should have jumped on this one after the first article, but I didn't. So there you go. Discussing now. Get off my screen. There we go. Next bit of news. Sticking with Yin-Poole at Eurogamer, though. Back onto first-person shooters. Activision tells creators of popular Call of Duty stat tracking website SBMM Warzone to shut it down by Monday. That's an order, says the tagline. Activision has ordered the creators of SBMM Warzone.com to shut the website down by Monday. The Belgium-based co-creators of SBMM Warzone said lawyers representing Activision sent a cease and desist demanding the website be shut down, citing privacy concerns. In this letter, which Eurogamer has verified, the lawyers claim SBMM Warzone violates Activision's API terms of use, infringes Activision's copyright, violates the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, and exposes SBMM's Warzone's creators to fines under GDPR. The letter goes on to say SBMM Warzone must shut down within 7 days of its receipt, which was the 22nd of March. We've contacted Activision for comment. SBMM Warzone uses the Call of Duty API to obtain player data and then provide useful statistics to players. Crucially, it organizes Warzone lobbies into skill-based ranks, which players use to determine the overall skill of a lobby they've just played in. In lieu of an official Warzone ranking system, players have flocked to SBMM Warzone in a bid to better understand Call of Duty's mysterious skill-based matchmaking system. One of the creators of the website, Ben, told Eurogamer he understands Activision's concern. Quotes, when we get their data through their API, they don't control it anymore, Ben said. Ben explained that in order for SBMM Warzone to obtain this data, the player must have their profile set to public and know their Battle.net, PSN, or Xbox username. The website then obtains kills, deaths, number of wins, and other stats, such as a list of the player's matches and the detail of the match. We get nothing sensitive, Ben insisted, and only from public players. There has been a suggestion that Activision takes issue with the fact that SBMM Warzone monetizes this player data via its website. SBMM Warzone runs adverts and sells a premium membership of between $4 and $6, which unlocks extra data such as the last 100 games worth of progress and Gulag win ratio over time. Ben insisted this monetization has nothing to do with Activision's complaint, however. Some people mention that on Twitter, but I don't know. I've got my own voice coming through. There we go. Okay, we're back. We're back. Internet shit itself. Fuck's sake. Back into the news. Where did we get to? Can anyone tell me where we got to? Where you guys heard me to? Do you know what? Let's just leave it there. The gist of it is SBMM Warzone, skill-based matchmaking Warzone, uses Call of Duty's API to provide data to the players that want it. That's not anything that's completely unheard of. There's a number of websites and apps that do that for PUBG that I use. PUBG Lookup, PUBG Stats app. But clearly Warzone doesn't like that. There was questions around whether the fact that the paid versions of that website adding extra data to players and the fact that they're making profit off it is the issue with Activision. It doesn't seem like that is the case according to the comments from Ben, one of the guys from SBMM Warzone. But the gist of it still remains that Call of Duty does not want that website to exist and wants it shut down today. What are your thoughts, Bib?
I think the biggest part of this was them trying to take money for ads. Like I say, there's a lot of websites that take video game APIs and then create something off of the back of it. I talk about the Resident Evil portal all the time because that's what it does. It takes all the information from your games, gets filtered into a website. All your stats for the entirety of the games that you played are all based there. There's websites like PES Hub, PES Universe that take the API from the video game Pro Evolution Soccer, put it onto a website. You can find out how good a player is by using a slider, and it'll from low level to max level. This isn't unheard of. I think this is because it is on a website that hosts ads, and for you to be able to get the best version of that game, you have to pay a monetary value. And I think that's where the biggest part is. Either that, or they wanted Activision want to do something similar. That's the only way that I can. They're the only two things where I think Activision want it shut down, because they want to do something similar where they can host skill-based matchmaking matches, either not using their server or using separate lobbies, as well as hosting all of that information elsewhere. Is classed as competition. You're not using it illegally, but they're using information that is it classed as being private? I mean, it does say that the information is only available when the person whose information wants to be shared makes their profile public.
Yeah, I mean, they've cited GDPR. They've said that it's the data that's being shared should be private. But as mentioned, yeah, they've said that only users that have expressed that their data can be available publicly can be found on that website. So in that sense, it is free data, really, isn't it? It kind of, I mean, that's exactly what works with. I mean, I don't even need to sign up to PUBG Report. Actually, I think maybe I do actually, but PUBG Lookup, I don't. I'd never signed up to anything with PUBG Lookup, and I can just go on and search for EU PSN, type in my PSN username, and boom. Yes, someone has to have my details in terms of what my username is to be able to see my stuff. There's no password protection or anything, but that's kind of public match data in it. That's like playing in a football match on a field where anyone can come and see and go, "Oh, Graham played in that game because I saw it with my eyes." It's, if you were there, it's public. I don't know, but it's, for me, the issue that I see with it is, the issue is I don't see what it is. And when I say what it is, I mean the why. Why has this been shut down? Because for me, it just doesn't look great from the perspective. Skill-based match, SBMM, I'm assuming it stands for skill-based matchmaking. I don't actually know. SBMM Warzone, a site that has been set up to provide community members with more insights, intel, and more reasons to get ingrained in the community. a community activation, not a community activation, a community tool created by the community. Obviously, there is a financial element to that as well for them separately. But even that, SBMMwarzone.com offers something that there's a reason why people are using it, because there is a gap in the market. And there's been so much talk around SBMM and accessing data for so long around Call of Duty that maybe they are working on something. But even still, just shutting it down is a bad state of affairs from the treatment of the community, in my opinion. If you are working on something, work with them. If you just don't want them to do it because they're using your brand and you just want to control everything, then okay, I understand that, but you're not putting yourself and your brand in a good position by just squashing the creativity of people that are looking to further your brand. Whatever the reasoning is for it, a cease and desist letter for a tool that large numbers of the community use in any way, shape, or form is bad form. They should have reached out. They should have got, be it at community manager level, be it using legal representative through lawyers and so on, say, look, we just want to have a conversation regarding this. Before we just say stop, let's have a conversation. And that's what's wrong with me. Didn't get to it and I stopped reading, but before we did, I scrolled down. We can see embedded tweets. So Vicstar, one of the sidemen, huge content creator, did tweet, sorry to see this happening. Your site is a great asset, especially while no ranked system yet exists for Warzone. I intend to let Activision know this. And Drifter below says, this sucks. You guys were providing a great service. Unfortunately, if you got letters from the Activision legal team, then it's unlikely that anyone will be able to talk to you. The answer from the bottom to the top will be, we can't comment, talk to the lawyers, and that will be it. So that's the shit bit, is they've instantly just thrown it to the lawyers. There was a bit, I think, a little bit further up. Actually, yeah, let me jump back into the article to give a bit more of a rounded picture. Ben is now desperate to work with Activision to achieve partner status for SBMM Warzone. Some similar third-party websites, such as Tracker.gg, are official partners with Activision and remain unscathed. Ben said he's willing to tweak SBMM Warzone and the way it does business to become a partner. Quote, what we're asking them is just to discuss with us how we could become partners and what should we have to change in order to comply. We are open to rebrand, change our name, change some features, and pay a commission for using their API. But for that, we still have to get in touch. Ben said he's tried to get in contact with Activision, but so far has not received a response. That's what saddens me the most, he said. We want to be able to talk to them. We believe there is so much more we can bring to this community. SBM, let's leave it there. That, for me, is the issue. It's Warzone's brand. They can do what they want, but that is still the wrong decision for them. They've made that decision for themselves. I think they could have made a better decision for themselves. And that would be, if you have content creators and esports players and just the general community using a system, squashing that without any rhyme, reason, or replacement is just, it just puts yourself in a bad light. So it's not great. Fix it. Sort it out.
Agreed.
Okay, let's move ahead. One final story before we wrap things up, since we've been live for a whopping 7 minutes now. Long old news day. The stream did go down if anyone's just joined us. Chelsea, speaking of which, hey, welcome in. How are you doing? How's the day? Luke, there we go. Luke Pastille says, "Sensible World of Soccer had those weird fandom names." Yes, I think that's what it was. But I couldn't quite remember, so I didn't want to commit to it. Give it 5 minutes and someone will patch it with real names. It took Ice Cream Uploads about half a day to deliver the first option file for what was it? Unfinished Pixel. What was the name of the game from? Was it Unfinished Pixel?
Super Soccer Blast.
Super Soccer Blast. There we go. It took us about half a day to deliver the first option file for Super Soccer Blast. Yes, it wasn't a full database of players, but still, you got to do what you got to do. The trouble is that they were making money off people, apparently. That's always the trouble. But there's kind of ways and means and reasons. If you're making money to cover operating costs and even making money to create a profit, there's still ways that stuff can be done. And I agree, that is usually what makes the Insta-lawyer conversation happen. But community growth has become more professionalized, for want of a better word, over the last 20 years anyway. So community sites now have access to commercial elements more than they ever did. So I believe brands just instantly squashing any idea of commerciality like that off the bat is outdated. I think brands need to evolve with communities in that sort of sense. But also, Chappers! Hey! Welcome in, Chappers. Oh, scroll just gone. Soz, I've been mildly AWOL. I know, it gets one episode of The Scoop and it just disappears off into the sunset. How dare you? I'm not joking, sorry, it's good. It's good. Nigel Gamer Johnson says, no, it's bullshit. People can clearly see how bad SBMM is in their game. They're getting called out for it and they haven't liked it. Do you know what? I don't know enough about the community, Nigel. So I sort of say Nigel. I don't even know if you'd like to be called Nigel, but Nigel Gamer Johnson, I don't know enough about the community and the conversation around that. I did think there was an element of that, but I don't know enough to clearly say. I know there's SBMM is a conversation that is often on everyone's lips, and it's not usually in a good light, but I don't know enough to say. So interesting. Samaldo says there was an integrity issue with the streamers, content creators too, when competing in kill race tournaments. There would constantly be drama and accusations of people using the tool to farm easier lobbies. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that kind of makes me think that if that sort of tool exists, then surely that's partially Activision's fault as well. Surely, if they have a game that has exploits in that sort of way, surely they should be fixing that rather than just stopping people being able to see it. Yeah,
I think a lot of people is using these websites as well because they don't like skill-based matchmaking. People don't want to have to sit there and sweat out every single match that they end up playing in. Like, they'd much rather come up against someone who has no idea how to play the game and get 40 kills and have to sit there and sweat out 3 or 4 kills because there's other people that they're coming up against are also doing the same thing. I mean, on paper, skill-based matchmaking, in my head, fantastic. I love that because I would much rather play someone who's my ability than have to come up against people who constantly shit on me because I'm not that great at the game. But people who are very, very good at the game have got good because they have either played against people who are the similar level or they're just shitting on the people who can't play the game very well. And if you're taking away the 40 kills every single game that you used to be getting, and now you're only getting 10, 15 kills every game, it's a lot more difficult. It's a lot more challenging. So I can understand why people don't want to do that because they're maybe streamers and their content is based on them getting 40 kills every single game, and it makes them look a little bit worse. But overall, I think,
is that what we're supposed to do? Fuck.
I think skill-based matchmaking in my eyes is actually a really good move, but I'm not a very good player at most games, so it suits me. If I was a very good player and I wasn't getting the high-profile kills that I used to be getting, it probably would piss me off. So, all in all, I think it's good. If you are good at the game, it's probably bad.
Exactly. Gary says the trouble is, why didn't the owners of SBMM contact Activision first to ask if creating this website was okay? The reason, because he couldn't make because he could make money from it. That's why he didn't contact them. I mean, that's an assumption. It could be right, but I know a lot of community websites that have started without communicating with brands and then gone on to add commercial elements afterwards due to the successes. I've seen community sites exist, delivering a service, and then the community members have actively pushed them to add a donate kind of function to their setup so that people can add revenue streams into it. So I mean, that could be, they could have created it to purely make money, but they could have created it as a tool and realized that actually, you know what, we can make money. So I mean, until I know either way, I'm not gonna say that that's exactly what they've done.
The cost of the service comes into how many people. If someone like Vicstar is using this website, I imagine millions of people are using this website. To host a website of millions of people, that is a lot of money to get a server to be able to do that as well. So there is always costs. If you're doing it for free, it's coming out of your pocket. As long as it's like, as long as it all goes kind of back into the site and things like that, I never ever see a problem in that kind of thing. But
it's like,
it is what it is.
Does anyone remember Poker Genie or whatever it was called? When Pokemon Go first came out, there was Poker Genie, and you could use that site to see what Pokemon were near you, and you basically used it as an exploit to get the Pokemon that you wanted, knowing exactly where they were going to be. That started out as a community thing, became massive, so that the servers kept failing. So they then started opening themselves up to donations to keep the service alive. People were basically giving them money. He was putting the money back into servers and so on. This guy was making, I think it was like 80 grand a month or something like that from something that he just did on the side. And eventually that got shut down because obviously that was going against what they wanted for the game. He was arguing that that was filling out a need, that the game first launch with the 3 steps. If there was a Pokemon nearby but not super close, it'd have 3 steps. And then if you got close to it, it'd go down to 2 steps. And if you got even closer, it'd go down to 1 step. Horrendous system. It was broken. It didn't work as well as it should have done. And that was built for people that were knew that they were near something 3 steps away. They could check. What actually happened was people would just look at the whole of Manchester and go, oh, fuck, there's a Snorlax at the other side of Manchester. Jump in the car, go for a drive, which kind of defeats the point of what it was. But you can see where he came from. And that was kind of loved and lauded. And that's kind of the idea of what SBMM kind of, in theory, could have done. They could have created that as a SBMM in-game is pants, so we've got something that kind of helps with that. Obviously, people can then use that and exploit it in their own sorts of ways. But in that sort of instance, that was just instantly squashed by Activision, and it didn't look very good. Not Activision, Niantic, and it didn't look very good on Niantic because they had a flawed system and they didn't improve it for a year or so afterwards. And this sounds, to me, a bit more of that. Activision... instant knee-jerk reaction to squash something rather than fix their issues or communicate with their issues. It's let's just kill the conversation and then people will ask less questions, which is a very heavy-handed approach. But then they can't just assume it will be okay. Surely I contacted Naughty Dog about my website and they were fine with me doing it. I mean, you're completely free to do whatever you want on any website, on any game. I could make a fan site now called Gary Clark or Garlic Clark buddies.com. I mean, I don't have any freedom to use your branding or anything like that, but I can make a site, my freedom of speech, I can make a site on whatever I want, wherever I want, however I want, create a community around it. If I use copyright materials, not so much. So that's the kind of issues in there. But it's the same thing with YouTubers and streamers. We don't have the right to stream any video game. We could stream it, but it could get pulled at any point in time. Usually video games have the go into the fair use policy, but yeah. So it all fits in that. Modern thinking from community stance heavily leans towards fair use, because if done correctly, fair use is a huge brand advocate tool as opposed to a brand spoiling tool. So yeah, I would go that way. I'm copyrighted grave. I mean, GarlicClarkBuddies.com, GarlicClarkBuddies.com. I'm fucking writing this down. GarlicClarkBuddies.com. Reserve. Nice. Anyway, final news. Get distracted. Let's jump into the next story. This new open world survival game promises to completely redefine the genre. This is written by Andy Chalk at PC Gamer. And it says, we really don't think it's going to. Oh, that's a great start. So this open world, it's got a completely redefined genre, but they don't believe it. Nice. Tencent has unveiled a new survival game called Undawn that follows the adventures of a group of survivors in a zombie-filled post-apocalyptic world. There we go, got there eventually. But the Walking Dead aren't the only problem players will face as they struggle to stay alive, or even necessarily the worst. If you've played video games in the last 15 years, this should sound familiar. Undawn promises PvE and PvP, along with the usual scavenging and crafting. Players can group up to trade resources and build shelters that will help them more easily ride out the end of the world. But conflicts between the non-undead are apparently bound to erupt as well. With Undawn, we wanted to create a new type of action game that combines open world freedom with RPG elements. Rocket Propelled Grenades? Nice. That would completely redefine the genre, regardless of platform, said Rick Lee, executive producer at developer Lightspeed and Quantum Studios. The fact that we created such an amazing experience for mobile and PC platforms means that even more players around the globe will be able to survive the apocalypse together, creating the potential for a huge new type of open world experience. If you follow mobile games, you may notice that Undawn looks and sounds an awful lot like Dawn Awakening, a zombie survival game Tencent announced last year. The game descriptions are virtually identical. Dawn Awakening is, or was, also being developed by Lightspeed and Quantum Studios, and characters from Undawn's Raven Squad are similar or identical to Dawn Awakening character art. Well, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Oh yeah, exactly. Exactly the same. Yeah. Anyway, they are in fact the same, as Tencent confirmed in an email that Undawn is the official name for the previously mobile exclusive Dawn Awakening. It's not yet decided whether the addition of PC means that crossplay and or cross saves are also in the works. Tencent said that crossplay is something that the development team wants to include, but is still under development. It's also really not clear what sort of amazing experience Undawn actually is. A recently posted Dawn Awakening gameplay video indicates that it's a straightforward third-person shooter that shifts into first person when looking down the sights, but may lack fluency but my lack of fluency prevents me from picking up further details. Descriptively, it sounds a bit like Fallout 76 meets Overkill's The Walking Dead, which isn't the worst idea for a video game I've ever run across. After watching 10 minutes of that video, though, I have very strong doubts that it's going to redefine much of anything. Do you know what? We'll stop there. I don't think we really need to go too far into it. But new open world survival is going to redefine the genre by not really redefining the genre. What are your thoughts, Bib?
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned a game last week, I think called Life After. That was a mobile game. That was a survival horror game that is only available on the mobile, or if you want to play it on PC, you have to be in Korea or China. I can't remember which country it is, but that's the only way that you can play it. Even if you put a VPN on, it doesn't matter. I've tried it. It's not available in Europe unless you're playing on a mobile. So I've just, to be fair, got distracted massively because I thought there was a new Duke Nukem game coming out. In the middle of that article, there's a game that uses the same engine as Duke Nukem. So I got a little bit distracted looking at that. But also in that article, there's a link to the trailer or the gameplay for the game that we're talking about. And yes, it is just PUBG, but in a survival open world game. Like, it's exactly the same. It looks like PUBG Mobile. Even when you go to open a box, it's got the same looting system. But is this the kind of game that I want to play? Absolutely. If they made a PC version of this, I'll be more than happy. This looks like a very watered down version of the one that we're waiting for the day before. Is it? We both can't wait for that game.
Yeah. I'm just trying to find this video. I can't find it. I can just see
the gameplay trailer.
Yeah.
It's like where's the article gone? It's just opened it in a different tab. It is
there we go. Gameplay video. There we go.
I mean, I could that's the one. I was just going to put it in the chat for anybody else, but yeah, if you skip to about 1 minute 37 after the intro.
Yep, it's PUBG. PUBG with zombies.
It genuinely is just PUBG. Yeah, exactly what it is.
It's The Last of Us.
But yeah,
it's the Last of Grounds. That's what it is. Not Battlegrounds, but The Last of.
I look forward to playing every single game. Like, there isn't many games out there that I just look at from a distance and go, oof. Even if it does look a bit janky, I'd probably going to give it a go. Like, I do really want to try this one. Any kind of open world survival horror game always has my attention because there just isn't enough of them. Some of them, it may be absolute dog shit, but I'm willing to give it a try.
I mean, I'd give this a try. I need more. If it's redefining a genre by taking two different genres and merging them together, you're not really doing anything with either genre. You're kind of creating a sub genre that might be good. I mean, when Aerosmith and Run DMC got together, that was two genres smashed together, and it's fucking whack this way. Yeah, that was exceptional. I'll take some of that, but doesn't always work. Sometimes when you merge two genres together, you just get a lesser version of both genres.
My only problem is with these games, I mean, we haven't kind of gone into the whole open world survival horror game yet because there just hasn't been one that's been fantastic. Like, we've had State of Decay that was pretty good. What is the point of an open world MMO survival horror game? What is the end goal? Is it to go out and scavenge as much stuff as you can to bring back to your sanctuary to make it bigger and better, more defense? Or is it literally just to survive like DayZ? Because DayZ is great until you played it for about 90 hours, and then it's just about surviving. I got bored of that game because there was nothing to do.
To quote someone that has much more knowledge than I will, and appears in a film called Dude, Where's My Car? 90 hours into Walking Dead, and then...
Yeah.
And then...
What is the main point of the game? Is it just to survive? Or is it to, like, look for survivors, bring them back to your sanctuary, build your army up, build your base up? What is the end game? That's what I want to know.
And then...
Yeah.
my issue, actually, while you were talking, my issue with this that I've noticed is, how do I say this? The Stentorius Steel. Thank you very much for the follow. Welcome into the stream. Hello there. I want to say hello there. There we go. There you go. Yeah. There you go. You can have that. Yeah. Watch this. Okay. This is gameplay from Undaunt. So we get some, like, ADS, very PUBG-esque, jumping from third person to first person. It's obviously, I say very PUBG-esque. It's very any game that does that, really. But wait for this absolute thunder bastard. Okay, bang! Straight to the floor. Just fucking wallop. You lie down now. So, yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It doesn't have the excitement that... What was it called? The Day Before? Is that what it was called?
I think that's what it's called. I always want to call it The Day After, but I don't think it's called that.
But yeah,
Day Before.
That definitely has my attention a little bit more than this.
Yeah, The Day Before.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll talk about that one. That one could redefine a genre. From what it looked like, that one looked like it could. Do you know what? If you haven't seen it The Day Before, Bibby doesn't know this yet, but I got confirmation that we've been added to their press lists and stuff this morning. So when we get any more news on The Day Before, then we'll keep you up to date with it. If you don't know what it is, we will update you as we know. There's more content coming over the next few weeks and months anyway. Long story short, it looks like a shit hot game. But that's it
Yes,
for
it
us
does.
today. We are going to wrap things up. Thank you everyone for joining us for another episode of The Scoop. Thank you for those that stuck around, even though the stream went down about 25 minutes ago. We appreciate you. Thank you very much. Stentorius Steel, thank you for the follow. West for the host. Appreciate you guys. Anyone that just watches the stream, it's appreciated. But anyone that drops a host or a follow or a raid or a sub or whatever, all of that is hugely appreciated. Just a final reminder as well, if you are new here, if you're lurking, it's free to follow. But if you have a few quid spare, or maybe even just a Prime gaming sub that you just don't have going anywhere, feel free to drop it on the channel, because next Monday subs will be thrown into the hat for our loot drop, our sub only giveaway, and we'll be giving away a copy of can't remember what it's called. Valheim, that's it. Valheim or another game that you want. So we'll be doing that next Monday. Before all of that, though, we will lose Bibby for a week. Bibby is off out into the golf courses. It's like nature has healed. It's like Bibby has healed.
Yeah.
Just it emerges like a bear from a slumber of 12 months back out. Well, however many months back out onto the course with his stick in his hand and his golf clubs. Easy, Tiger. Before you go golfing, though, Bibby, is there anything you would like to add to the stream now?
Yes, again, thank you very much to each and every one of you that joined us for the first episode of The Scoop this week. We very much appreciate it. If you do want to shape our show, then there's two ways that you can do that.
Hey.
First of all, get in straight away, Graham, you know what I mean? I've been practicing in the mirror. There's two ways that you can do that. First of all, find us on social media like the Shagger Gary Clark has put into the chat for you then. Or find us on Discord. The description will be in the below if you are watching this on video on demand. There is an area in there called The Scoop. All we need from you is the URL plus your thoughts and opinions. We will then give you our thoughts and opinions on the very next show, which is at what time tomorrow, Mr. Graham Day?
Well, that will be at 10 a.m. Ish. 10 a.m. ish. A final reminder that we do go live at 10 a.m. ish each and every single weekday. We aim for 10 a.m., but it's usually a little bit after, because we do have a proper job, a real job, and the Scoop and Ice Cream Pods is something that we do on the side. So we go live at 10 a.m. ish whenever work does allow that. So thank you everyone for joining us, even though we have the most fluid start time that has ever existed on Twitch. We appreciate it very, very much. We are going to jump off now. There may be some gameplay stuff shortly / in a bit. I'm not sure. The best way to find out is to drop a follow on the channel. That way you will get notified when we go live. It's probably not going to be straight away though. So you've got plenty of time to go off, grab yourself a brew, make yourself a butty or something. It's lunchtime, unless it's not lunchtime where you are in the world, or you're watching on demand. You never know. But yes, that's it. Thank you. Till next time, babe. Do you know what? You're not going to be here for the rest of the week, so do you wanna send us off?
Yeah, I mean, for those of you that have been around long enough, that you'll see the emotes in the chat. But there's only one thing that I want you to do for the remainder of the day, and that is to stay frosty.